this video is for anybody that tore their bicep. I tore my bicep the day after Martin Luther King's birthday, and I got the surgery done February 1st. I'm about in the 2.5 week mark, actually, a 2.5 week mark from the surgery. I'm going to have this cast on for a total of 3 weeks. And this is an old thing that I don't know why my doctor put me in, but like from the 1980s. It's just uncomfortable. The itchy part's not even a big deal. It's just uncomfortable and heavy, and just the size of it alone. If you're in a state where it's winter, it's hard to put a jacket on. Even if you have it inside your jacket, it's just with a sling, it's really bulky. Most people I know who tear their bicep, they usually do it either from lifting weights, probably incorrectly, without warming up, or swinging, or creating some type of ballistic or dynamic stretch that the bicep's not ready for, or overtraining, or somebody lifting something really heavy out of nowhere. I didn't do it either of those ways. I guess if you could say out of nowhere, I tried to stop somebody from falling, so I wasn't warmed up. So when I went to stick my arm out to catch them, my bicep ripped out of my forearm. So my arm was actually fully extended like this when I went to catch the person. So I could feel right away and hear a tear right in this area where the muscle just ripped right out and retracted into my shoulder. And you could tell right away, because if you make a bicep muscle, you could see how it comes all the way into here, and you could feel where the tendon attaches into the radial bone, which is the bone that moves around your ulnar when you turn your thumb to a supinated to pronated type of grip. So you could feel that was gone. And you could see there was like a 4-inch gap. So the muscle was up here, so you could still contract, but it would, instead of the ball being down here, it would start over here. And usually they call that the Popeye arm. So when you make that muscle contract, it's not attached to your forearm anymore, but it'll still contract, of course. And when that tendon's not attached, you know you have a full rupture, because you could just tell the distance between the inside of your elbow and where the bicep now is. You can see it's not attached at all. And it's something that some people don't. I have a couple of friends that didn't get surgery from it, but it's something that I would consider getting surgery for, unless you're probably in your 70s or something, because your forearm muscles, they actually help with supination and pronation and flexion of the elbow, but your bicep is the prime muscle mover of your forearm. So not having that muscle attached into your radial bone to help with flexion of the elbow, you lose a lot of strength. So that's going to make your arm weaker for a ton of different things in the future. The procedure is actually, it's an open procedure. They usually do either just one incision here, so they could find the tendon, pull it back in, and then drill it in, or they usually do a second cut here. Sometimes it's just, if it does, maybe rip out of here also. But the procedure that seems common is the button method, where they find the tendon, they pull it down, they put some threading through it, they drill a hole through the radial bone, and then within there they put the button, and then they put pretty much the sutures that are going through the tendon. They start to pull that up, so it pulls the tendon down into the button, and that's drilled already within the bone of your forearm, your radial bone. And then they put a screw in to make sure that fastens it to the bone, and then they sew you up, and then they put you in this, and then over time everything grows around the tendon again, and that you should keep it. And so far, from what I've seen and heard, anybody who's had that surgery usually never has to get it again. Once it's in there, it's nice and deep. It all depends too where the tendon tears. If the tendon tears cleanly out of the bone like mine did, you have a lot of tendon left, so it's easy to put that back in the bone. But if the tendon was to separate in the middle, where now you only have half of it left, they have to use a matrix to create like an extra length on the tendon and put that in. Or if the tendon rips off the muscle and not the bone, that makes it even more difficult. So it depends where the tendon actually rips, that makes it more or less successful. But mine came straight out of the bone, which is the best prognosis I guess you could have for this type of injury. So I've had this thing on for a couple weeks now. I'm getting closer towards the end of the 3 weeks. This is just big and bulky and heavy, and I know my surgeon doesn't care what I feel. He just wants it to heal right, so he didn't put me on any soft cast or anything like that. So obviously he doesn't want you bending or extending your arm. He probably doesn't want you doing any supination or pronation, of course. So he wants that tendon to really set in and heal right. When it came to pain, I didn't have any pain. And, he warned me after the anesthesia wears off that, oh, you're going to be in a lot of pain tomorrow. I didn't have any pain at all. The only thing that's uncomfortable is this hunk of shit, pretty much. So, I've been counting down the days because it's winter here in New York, so it's hard to get around with this thing on. So, and it's hard to sleep and sit. It's just not comfortable. But otherwise, no pain at all. It's just the only thing. This is a pain in the ass. That's about it. But I get this off in about another week, and then I'll give a little bit of an update on how I feel it's going. From some of the videos I've seen, some people who are older are not recovering as quick. The younger guys, of course, are recovering quick. You have more growth hormone and more testosterone when you're younger, so the healing process is a lot quicker than when you're older. I'm in my early 40s now, so I'm healthy, but we'll see how quick I heal. Usually the person's in some type of immobilizer for only a week to 3 weeks, and then from there they start to do some type of light passive range of motion where there's no strength training yet. It's just trying to get the flexibility back, trying to get the full range of motion. And then from there, with physical therapy, usually they just start to add like anything else. But most important thing is having a pain-free range of motion, and then having a full range of motion with the muscle active, but nothing loaded or stressed. So we'll see how it goes. And usually, within that range, they say anywhere from 6 to 12 months to feel 100%. Of course, if you work out and stuff like that. Again, a lot of people I've seen on the videos where they've gone to the gym in their cast and all this stuff. And yeah, I was motivated too when I was younger to do stupid things because you want to stay in shape and all that. But reality of it is, if you're in this and you have an incision and stitches and you're sweating from working out at the gym, I don't care if it's running or doing one-arm rows or whatever, you start to sweat because you're building up body heat because your heart rate is up. And sweating in here, depending on the incision, you could create a major problem. And a lot of the young guys don't think about that, where you could get an infection here and you won't even know because it's covered, it's encased, unless you start dripping or blood or something like that, or your fingers all of a sudden you couldn't feel them anymore, you wouldn't know. But working out while you're in the cast is not the smartest thing. And I know I did that when I was in my early 20s, but now thinking about that, it's like, wow, I could have had a major infection and you'd be in a lot of trouble. So getting hurt sucks. The healing process is just a process. But when you're in something like this, don't go, oh, I gotta go work out. If anything, just be strict with your diet and do something else right now to keep your mind off of things. But to go to the gym and sweat, you could create a major infection within that incision and have staph infection or something. You could lose your arm. Nobody thinks about that, because once you stop the antibiotics, that's it. But the incision takes at least a week to close. So if somebody's already working out, sweating while they have this on, there's no way of the sweat evaporating and getting out of this. You create a major infection. So if you're the type of person that's like, oh, I got to work out, give yourself that 1 to 3 weeks where you can't, to let your arm heal without any problems. Because if anything gets worse, it's going to be worse than what you started with. All right, so whoever unfortunately gets hurt with tearing their bicep and gets a full bicep rupture, this is a distal bicep rupture. And it's a distal one when it's further away, so it's here. A proximal bicep rupture is usually from the shoulder, and you'll know because the bicep will rip out and sit down here. When it's distal bicep rupture, it'll curl up in here. So those are 2 ways to know. I went to school for exercise sciences, so when I've heard this thing rip, I go, oh shit, I knew exactly what this was. So, happy healing, whoever ends up getting hurt. Hopefully, all the different videos that you see out there, some will get you motivated, some will get you a little afraid. So I try to keep a balance with everything. So, pretty much keeping it real. All right. Thank you for watching. Take care and happy healing.